Breaking news tonight, a female student has died after she was stabbed on campus of Stagg High School in Stockton.
Police tell us the suspect is now in custody, but it is still a very active scene as we speak.
The school is on lockdown on Rosemary Lane and North Pershing Avenue in Stockton.
I spoke with parents on the softball team here at Stagg High School, and they say that the victim was one of the players, and now the team is completely broken. They'll never walk on the field the same. In tears, walking to embrace their parents after being released from the lockdown, the Stagg softball team begins the journey of healing, while still in disbelief of losing not just a teammate, but a friend.
And imagine sending your daughter off to school in the morning only to learn later she has died, stabbed to death.
A trespasser entered the front of our school today and stabbed one of our students multiple times. Unfortunately, she did not make it.
The school district says the man in his 40s drove a car through the open front gate of the school next to the front parking lot. The suspect was quickly arrested.
Our Stockton Unified School District police officer was right there immediately and was able to do his job, and it helped prevent that from continuing.
Due to the serious nature of this, our detectives have taken over the investigation. And they're currently in the process of trying to determine a number of those questions you have, such as the motive and the nature of the relationship between the suspect and the victim.
The Stagg High School softball team mourns their teammate, a 15-year-old student whose name has not been released.
She was our teammate, softball teammate. She was on the JV team and she played varsity, and she's one of the star catchers.
This video given to ABC 10 by anonymous source shows the moments inside the high school as students were put on lockdown through the stabbing. You can see the 15-year-old victim on the stretcher being put into an ambulance and transported to the hospital, where later she died.
They're having a real hard time.
News tonight, Stockton police just identifying the suspect accused of stabbing a teenager at Stagg High School today. His name is Anthony Gray, and he is now charged with murder. We are also getting our first look at that teen stabbed to death in Stockton.
It hurts. I mean, obviously, we see everybody here. Everybody loved this girl more than anything in the world.
Star catcher Alicia Reynaga's family and coaches sharing these photos with CBS 13 of Alicia in action.
Her catching's amazing. She's just a raw athlete. It's just sad to see her life cut down short. Who would want to do this to this kid?
Police say the suspect in his 40s was detained on campus, but now students and parents are concerned.
Well, tonight, Hillsborough County deputies are at the scene of a shooting involving one of their own.
I was at a friend's house, an old friend's house of mine, and when I got out of the shower, she had a gun trained on me.
Our victim was running for his life.
Sheriff Chad Chronister tells us that one of his deputies shot an armed female suspect inside her car right in front of this Brandon daycare. Sheriff Chad Chronister tells News Channel 8 the suspect, 39-year-old Terrell Green, pointed her gun at the victim because she became irate after finding something in his cell phone. Deputies say that ex-boyfriend fled from her apartment at the Cypress Trace complex, hopped the iron fence, and ran to the Heaven Sent daycare center. Says his deputies spotted the handgun in Green's car, and Deputy Gautier opened fire, striking the suspect in the upper body.
New tonight is a death investigation in Fort Lauderdale that police say is connected to last week's double murder in North Lauderdale. CBS 4's Bobeth Yates joins us live from Fort Lauderdale with new details from police. Bobeth?
Well, Broward County homicide investigators were hot on Andre Anglin's trail, and they tracked him down right here to the Circle K gas station. Now, he's the man police believe was the prime suspect in the shooting death of a woman and a teenage girl from North Lauderdale from last week. Now, officials say their Viper units were tracking Andre Anglin and visiting places that he was known to visit. When they attempt to approach him, things took a turn.
The deputies went inside that business. They learned that Anglin was in a restroom inside the business. When deputies attempted to make initial contact with Anglin, they heard a gunshot. The deputies went inside the restroom. They discovered Anglin deceased inside.
Trouble. A Hollywood home blocked off by crime tape as a damaged car sits out front in what all began as a shooting. We're learning that a woman was shot. Let's get right out to CBS 4's Ted Scouten live at the scene with what we know right now. Ted.
Yeah, Candace, it appears, according to neighbors, that this actual shooting happened just down the street a few doors down. But then that car continued to travel, barreling through this front yard here and ending up in the driveway, hitting those cars. Desperate calls for help. It happened just moments after neighbors heard gunfire.
No, they were loud. Six. I heard six. But it was extremely loud.
Seconds after that, people who live nearby heard a crash on Monroe Street at 61st Terrace.
All I heard was a big bang, a bunch of bangs, bunch of crash, some tires squeaking. It sounded like the car was flying through my house almost. My windows and everything were shaking.
Dulce Long ran to help. She found a man and woman near the car. The woman was injured. Gunfire began a few houses away from where that car crashed as it was rounding a corner.
I actually had 4 bullet cases around my Jeep. So at that point, I think that somebody was just waiting for them to make that turn to target them out onto the tree.